So good
Good.
afternoon, everyone, because I guess it's really afternoon in that part of the world.
Yeah.
Here it's evening, but it's good.
Thank you for joining us.
And for all your patience because
yeah,
of this
technical stuff, but these two amazing guys are just, good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. So we are talking about what else is possible beyond abuse. So what else is possible beyond abuse?
That's a good question. So maybe first we need to talk about what is actually abuse. So there is this thing, there is a purpose when people do abuse to someone else. And the main purpose is that that person who they want to abuse, they see that person as greater than them, or they take away something from them, like this person is too rich, or this person has too much time that I don't, or this person does this and that, and I have to stop them. I have to make them less. I have to do something to hold them back from what they are doing and who they are being. Like that's the real thing behind abuse, that there is this target, there is this thing that the person who does the abuse, they think that they are not enough, they are not good enough, and they will create something greater for themselves when they stop someone else. And how do you stop an infinite being? You abuse them, because what does abuse do? It starts to, the being starts to contract to the result as a result of the abuse. So when there is this, the nature of the infinite being is the continuous expansion. And when you start to expand in all areas of your life, you start to have more joy, more ease, more fun. You start to have more success. You start to have more money. You start to have more friends, greater relationship, greater health in your body. That's all because you start to expand as an infinite being. You start to become more of who you are. Your body starts to become more of what it is, the embodiment of the infinite being. And of course, when this happens, you start to be really unstoppable, because such an amazing and enormous amount of energy and capacities starts to open up for you. So the more you are an infinite being and the more you have this expansion, what happens that people start to see you as unstoppable. And of course, they don't want you to be unstoppable. They don't want you to have the total freedom. They don't want you to have fun with money. Imagine that. What would happen if you would have total fun and joy with money?
Yeah.
How many people has that in their life?
Yeah, they will hate you anyway, actually.
and that's what they really want. Like, one of the things behind financial abuse, to stop you from having the success and the ease and the joy with money. And also, if there is like spiritual abuse, they do it because they want to stop you from having that expansion, that capacity to grow and develop and become the infinite being that you truly be. So there is always this thing, somehow, in some way, they want to stop you. And when they start to do this abuse, what happens, you choose to contract yourself as a result. And sometimes it's just for the being, but oftentimes we lock it into the body. So it starts to create a contraction, a solidification in the body as well. What it means that when the body is solidified, it stops changing. And it's also like the first step towards a disease or an illness or a malfunction in the body. So abuse also has an impact on the body, and it is really not good for the body. So what would your life be like if your body had no effects from abuse? And what possibilities would open up for you if there was, if you had all the tools to deal with abuse in your body and deal with abuse in your life and in your reality, in your whole universe? So this is about abuse shortly, but actually what would life be like if there was no abuse in the future? I mean, I would say we are just daydreaming because, there are always abusive people, abusive situations. So we love to have no abuse in the world, but I guess it's going to happen for quite some time. But what if you had the tools to deal with it? Like, what if you had the tools to really change it and really have no impact in your life because of the abuse around you? Like, what if you could live at a workplace where even if everyone is abusive, it will not hurt you? And actually you would know what to do with it, and you would know it like always one step ahead of all of them. What financial reality you could create, what relationship you could create, and really, if it's not just for you, but for the whole world, what future we could all create. And are you willing to have that? Yes, Kathleen says like she feels like having wings, like if she could fly. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, that when you start to have this expansion in your life, you start to see you have more and more and more possibilities. Like you start to really have that sensation, like if the world would open up in front of you. And this is what really frightens people who wants to control you. Those who wants to control you financially, those who wants to control you in your beliefs, like spiritually or mentally or emotionally, and all the different ways. This is what they are afraid of. That you start to have that ease and joy and that expansion and that amazing amount of energy and all capacities that would really allow you to go beyond everything that anyone is ever imagined. So are you willing to have that much ease in your life?
It would be too much, I guess.
Such a boring idea. And actually what we see, like those people who attended these classes, their life really started to expand and they started to thrive in all areas of their life. And of course, it's a question if they choose that, because one of the homework we give to the people to please...
Home play, no homework, home play.
Oh my God. It's a work, it's hard and heavy.
I know.
I mean, it's a very hard work.
You have to make effort, that's terrible.
Yeah, because you need to run this process on yourself for 21 days after the class. It's very terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, people enjoy it, but we try to make it very hard for them, saying that it's terrible. So, yeah.
Because.
Oh, there is a reason why we do it.
There is always a because.
You know, like when people start to abuse you, and they always have a good reason why it's better for you. Like this is not even abuse. This is for your betterment.
This is for you, to make you better.
To become a greater person. So therefore we will abuse you for all eternity, and that will allow you to become funnier, nicer, greater, much stronger, more powerful. Oh my God. And everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate.
Right and wrong,
good and bad, podem, pokol, night shorts, boys and beyonds. So are you willing to have ease? And what if it's not just for you, but for everyone else. Like what invitation you can be in the world if you are not the victim of the abuse, but you're really the one who is inviting others to this great possibility, to different possibility where they really start to have choice. They're not pushed to the left or to the right. They're not pushed into different situations, but they are the ones who are leading their life. They are the ones who are not the victims of life, but the ones who really create the life they desire to have. So what do you choose? And everything that brings up, everywhere you vote into it, that it's not possible, or it's too much, or not in this lifetime, or abuse really has to be part of our life. So will you now destroy and uncreate? Right and wrong, good and bad, put and pakon, and shorts, boys and beyonds. Like if you go to a workplace, there are already so many abusive situations that happens from the first day. Like they tell you all the abusive things you have to do, you have to fit in. It wasn't part of the deal, it wasn't part of the contract, but if you started to work here, and if you would like to keep working here, you have to bow down, you have to abide and do all the things that they want you to do. It's very nice. So what if you could have fun instead of suffering from all the abuse? And it's really not about that you have to smile while they are abusing you. I mean, of course, happiness is just a choice, but not this way. It's not the way that you allow everyone to abuse you and then, you have to be happy about it. It's really about that you recognize the abusive people around you. You recognize the abusive situations and you start to function from question, you start to use the tools and you don't go into it. You don't, like when we use allowance, it's allowance with yourself and allowance with them. Allowing them to be as crazy, stupid assholes as they are, and allowing yourself to be who you truly be. Allowing yourself to not give up, to not, cut your wings, to not fit yourself into their boxes, but to be who you are and to create what you desire. They can put you, like give you many, many contracts. They can try to break you in many ways, but at the end, what do you choose? Do you allow them to make you a victim? And will you function from the victimhood of all the past situations you went through? Or you keep going and keep looking into the future and creating what you desire? And everything that brings up, will you now destroy and uncreate for eternity? Right and wrong, good and bad, put and poke, online, shorts, boys and beyonds. And actually, what if you could use all these tools, not just for yourself, but for your clients? Because one part of abuse and how we can get out of abuse is sort of like education, like getting educated about what is abuse and what are the different forms of abuse and what are the dynamics. And when you start to have this information,
it makes your life much more easier, actually, really.
Because you start to see these people, you start to see these situations.
And you just don't go in that situations, or if you are there, you realize immediately and you can just clear it or deal with that easily.
Yeah.
So what else is possible?
And the other part, there is the body process, clearing the different forms of abuse that can really help you how to deal with the different forms of abuse logged into the body from the past. Okay. So, is there any question at the moment? I mean, one of the things is about the structure of the class and where will we have these classes. Like one of that will be in Sao Paulo, right? And another one will be in Mexico City. And we are really, really excited. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
So guys, just this
Yes.
question.
Yes.
During the class, you teach a body process to deal with this abuse?
Yes.
Durante la clase ustedes...
Yes. And this is a unique body process actually. It's not in the 3D body process class or
in any other classes.
Yeah, this is a special one.
And the thing is, like, the whole thing, how it started, that like 2 years ago, when we were facilitating a class, there was a lady and she had issues with her eyesight. She was wearing glasses and she had problems with short-sightedness and long-sightedness. So she didn't see clearly to distance and didn't see clearly to close things. And then when we started to use this clearing, this process, and clear the abuse that she looked into her eyes, the thing first came up that was abuse that was about what happened between her parents. Like they were quarreling and fighting a lot, and she as a child, she looked it into her
She didn't
eyes.
want to see that.
And then we cleared it, and what happened, her eyesight improved immediately. Not within a week, not within a month, immediately. But it didn't improve totally, but to a level. And then we went further, and another story came to the surface that she also locked away or made hidden, because it was so terrible to her that what happened, that an uncle was sexually abusing her when she was around like 10 years old. And this was the other thing that she looked into her eyes, but she totally forget about this thing. And when we cleared that part, that allowed her to fully recover her eyesight. So she just put down her glasses and she was seeing clearly. And imagine that how many symptoms do you have in your body that is the result of some kind of abuse that you logged into the body. And what change it could create when you start to use these tools, when you start to run these processes on your body, and when you start to recognize what is abuse actually. And are you willing to recognize the abusive people in your life? Like what change it would be in all areas of your life when you start to recognize it, that who these people are and what are they doing actually, recognizing the energy of abuse and everything that brings up that abusive people has to be in this planet, or they do some very, very amazing job, or they are part of personal development, or, you know, without them, we couldn't improve ourselves or evolve or develop. So everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate for all eternity. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pokol, nature's boys and beyonds. Cool.
So
yes,
they ask just a question that depending on the kind of abuse, it solidifies in different parts of your body.
It's actually you are who makes the decision to which part of the body you solidify it, you put that implant. It's really something that you choose, you decide either consciously or unconsciously. Yeah, thank you for the question. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, someone says that she just recognized someone as an abusive person in their life just before the Zoom, and yeah, really. Because about abuse, like we think that only there is sexual abuse and physical abuse, and the other forms are not really relevant, or it doesn't really happen. But actually, it's not just the form of abuse, but we live in a world where we were entrained and like parented in a certain way, where everyone says to things that, oh, this is not abusive, it is part of life. Like above a certain level, everyone calls it as abuse. Beyond, I mean, below that, no, it's not abuse. It's okay. It's part of life. And actually, what do we mean by it's part of life? They say you need to do it. You need to get by these things because it will help you to fit in. It will help you to achieve your dreams.
Part of the life. It's all right. It's just a little suck, you know. A little suck is okay.
As long as it's tiny, it's okay.
And there is this certain level when we say, okay,
now it's enough.
Now it's enough, and now it's abuse.
But actually, it's different for the people in different countries because they get used to that level, and also it's different in different families, and it's also personally is different as well. But it also means that it's really about how far a person is willing to go and get used to that abuse. But what if we don't have to get used to abuse, but we can always like have the possibility to change it and choose something else? And everywhere you were told that it's not changeable and you have to get used to it because everyone gets used to it. So will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Right and wrong, good and bad, podempok, all natural boys and beyonds. Someone is asking, is there any prerequisite for this class? No, there is no prerequisite. It's open for everyone because, you know, abuse is very important.
And it's really
actually.
common.
And, you know, we need to learn more about it. We need more information about it and how to deal with that. And what to do with that, how to recognize that, and the body processes are really great and really helpful. Yeah, there are huge changes in people's life after the body processes. I mean, you know, they learn the body processes. It's really great.
And also the other part, it's not just the body processes and the clearings, but there is lots of live facilitation during the classes. And also there is there are other topics like judgment.
How to receive judgment, what to do with judgments, what is judgment actually?
Because actually judgment is very different from abuse, and it's good. It creates more for you if you are willing to receive judgment. But receiving abuse is not something that you want.
So we will talk about receiving as well, and we will do exercises. And also the other part is victim.
Yeah, being a
victim. What is that exactly, and why do we choose that, and how to get out from this victim position?
We didn't mention the new additional topics, which is the domestic abuse.
Yes.
And also what we started to see that a lot of people are actually literally abused by entities. So what else is really possible in our life when abuse is not part of it anymore? When abuse doesn't have an effect on your body, on your health, on your financial reality, on your relationships, but you can create what you desire freely with ease and joy. Like, what would your life be like? And yeah, and just a question, like, if you tap into the energy of no choice, because actually what happens that when you are abused, you contract yourself, and from that space you can't really choose. And really, in that sense, abuse is a source for no choice and no possibilities. So it's really about unconsciousness and anti-consciousness. So what is the energy of no choice? And also, what is the energy of choice? So just see these two things, if you bring it up, like choice and no choice. Like, what is your life? What was your life in the past? What will your life be like in the future? Like, how much of your life had the energy of choice or the no choice in the past? And actually, what do you choose for the future? What is the life that you choose? What would your life be like if you would choose to have choice, to function from choice and from consciousness? And everything that doesn't allow it, will you destroy and uncreate? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, points and beyonds.
What else is really possible, actually, beyond abuse?
All right.
Do you have any questions?
I have one question, guys.
Yes.
The class is only live, also the first part, just the first part that is facilitation, or it can be online? That is my question.
Yeah. So the thing is, this is a live class. So everyone is welcome who are coming to this class live, but it's not online because there are body processes. So it would be great to be present during the class, so you can be part of exchanging these body processes.
And you know, body loves to be touched. So yeah, body likes it. So that's why it's live. But what else is possible?
Yeah, what nurturing energies it can be to your body. And yes, big part of this class is about the body. So are you willing to recognize that that there is a change that is available and possible for your body that you can choose now? Yeah, thank you for the question.
The abuse class, so the structure, there is the intro. It's a 3 hours intro evening, and after 2 days class. And actually, the prerequisite, yeah, I said it's no prerequisite. Yeah, the intro is the prerequisite actually, because this is actually not an intro. This is,
we call it the icebreaker.
This is part of the class. So if you are coming only to the intro, you will receive lots of things actually, because we start to do the clearings, we start to do exercises. So it's really part of the class now. And after two whole day, and you will learn two body processes, one body process the first day and the other body process the second day. And also with lots of information, what we mentioned before, lots of topics. Yeah, it's very exciting. And actually, it's not about drama and trauma and crying, but it's lots of fun actually. And when did you buy into clearing out the abuse? It has to be crying. What if it can be fun? So what else is possible beyond abuse and having lots of fun?
Guys, they are asking me if teenagers can go, if kids can go to the class.
Yes, they can come, and kids are really welcome to the class. There in Hungary, when we had this class, there was I think she was 15 or 14 years old or something like that.
15 or 16.
Yeah, so she came to the class. She had lots of problems actually in the school because she has some abusive situations in the school because of the teachers and classmates and lots of other things. So she came to the class. She had no questions at all, but she was present. She did the body processes, and her mom was writing 2 days after the class, and she was so grateful and thankful because the girl has changed a lot. And finally, she started to talk about her problems to her mom, which is a great thing because it didn't happen. And she started to solve her problem actually. And she became much more relaxed and much more happier. So yeah, kids are welcome, really. And they are such a great contribution always. Yeah, we like kids in the classes. Yeah.
I think
They are asking me what is the price just for the intro and what is the class for the price for the whole class.
Yes.
Oh, I can only say that
we can say it only in euros, but you can calculate, or we can calculate, or
I think yeah, I remember, like the intro itself is like $150, and the total price of the class is like $930.
Yeah.
But if you attend the class, then the intro is included in the price. If you don't attend the 2-day class, then it's not included in the price.
Yes.
I hope it's
so
clear.
Not 3 days, it's 2.5, because
including the intro.
Yeah, intro is 3 hours, and after 2 days. So usually we have the intro on Friday evening, and Saturday, Sunday the class. Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually yes, 1 evening plus 2 days.
Yes.
In that sense, yes. Thank you. Cool.
So it's really exciting actually to hold this class in Mexico City and in Sao Paulo next year. Oh my gosh. Start the January with these clearings, the magical 2020. Oh my God. It's so cool. Yeah. Cool. Do you have any other questions?
We have another question here. How is this class different from Acoustic Body?
Oh, it's totally different because, the Acoustical Body class is about how to be an infinite being, how to work with the acoustical vibration, what programs you have in your body, and clearing out these things, and
also about the elementals. And it's also about
the miraculous healings, and yeah, so these are the main topics. And the abuse is all about abuse. We are going through all the kind of abuse.
I mean, there is one thing as we see it, like everyone would like to really thrive, really expand, really be an infinite being. But if you suffer from abuse, it will always hold you back.
Yeah.
If you can't deal with the abuse, you can't really create the life you desire. So the two things for us is really contributing to each other or feeding each other. Like when you really know and have the tools and can deal with judgments and with abuse, and you can really not just deal with it, but clear it or change it. And also that will give you an amazing platform from which you can really start to grow and thrive and create the change in your life. Yeah, thank you so much for this question.
Yeah. So what else is possible beyond abuse?
Yeah, like what would your life be like if you had all the tools to change the abuse that you suffered from, and change all the places where they are abusive with you or try to be abusive with you?
Here is a question. Would it be also a part of the expansion that I let the person go from my life, from my new reality?
Like it's like part of allowance is that allowing what creates more for you, like allowance with yourself, and also allowance with the other person. Like you don't want to stop them, you don't want to change them, you allow them to be whatever they are, but don't hurt you any longer. So you do what you need to do in order to have the life that you desire. Yes, letting them go, if that's the one. Yeah, thank you. Really cool questions. All right.
Okay, so if you have any questions regarding the classes in Mexico, please contact Hector or Kita. Or if you have any questions regarding the abuse class in Sao Paulo, please contact Andre.
And really, what else is possible? What is the life that you can create? And really, what is the future that you can create? And are you willing to do the next step for that? And are you willing to step up and create the life and future you desire? So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for the translations.
And for the cool questions.
Yes, and thank you for your presence and your contribution. Thank you. And hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.